Hello, everyone, and welcome to Love's Teaching Will Travel. On our new episode today, we'll be talking about international schools. Many of them are hiring, and I want to give you some ideas on how you can get started on thinking about what you'd like to do in your application process, looking at whether international schools are even for you. So, join KJ and welcome. For our episode today, I'd like to start with some things you can look at when you're thinking about working for an international school. So, first, let's start with knowing our worth. Do we have a degree that's relevant to the position? What is our teaching experience, and how will this help us to gain further insight into working at an international school? Do we have any expertise that would make us stand out in a sea of applicants? If you are not aware of the salary that's available, if you're not aware of what you can bring to the table, it will be very difficult for you to apply for a job or a position abroad, knowing what it might cost you to leave your position here in the US. So, as a certified teacher, you want to make sure that you know your worth, know what you're bringing to the table, know what your knowledge and expertise and your ultimately what you have done so far in this field will bring to a new school, a new set of students that will help them to reach their ultimate potential. So, thinking about what many teachers here have to deal with when it comes to being a teacher, there comes a lot of challenges that we might face, whether it's making sure our classrooms have proper supplies, making sure we're reaching out appropriately to families. What is it that makes your job worthwhile, and how does that align with knowing your work and making sure when you get up in the morning, going to your classroom is the place that you want to be and you feel valued in this space, right? That's something that's really important when we think about relocating and working for an international school. What are some things that we can bring to the table, but what will this experience bring to us as well? So, those are some things that I want you to think about as you're looking at your journey going forward in working abroad. Now, something else I want many of you to think about is whether or not the grass is going to be greener. So, for some of us, we're like, you know what, we're leaving, the grass is going to be greener, but it's not always the case. So, when thinking about relocation, whether it's permanently or on a part time basis, I want you to think about what you're going to experience, whether it will be a pay cut, whether it will be a new school culture that you have no experience with, right? Does this space align with your personal and professional values? Is this the type of environment that you want for yourself? If you're relocating with family, is this the type of place that you want your family to be in? So that's something I want you to consider when you're thinking about moving abroad, whether or not the grass is going to actually be greener for you when you're leaving your classroom here in the US. I know for many teachers, safety has become a real big issue, and it might be a controversial topic, but let's be honest. It can be very dangerous to be a public school teacher or even a private school teacher here in the US. And if you're going abroad with the thought process of, well, at least I'll be safer, it's something to consider whether the environment that you're going to is actually going to be as safe as you think it is from looking in from the outside. Also, I want you to consider any issues that you might encounter culturally, right? Will you face any discrimination? Will there be any prejudice towards you in this environment? You might be coming into an international school with teachers from all around the world. You're not going to just be interacting with people in your new host country or people who have that language of the new host country, but you could be experiencing a classroom or a school environment with teachers from all across the world. So it's important to just be mindful of situations you might face and come into this thought process with honesty and just know that things might not always be greener on the other side. Okay? Now, I also want you to think about what you're willing to compromise on. So, for many of us, we're looking to go abroad, get into a new classroom, new environment, and we're excited and fired up about it. But if you're going to be getting a salary cut, is that really worthwhile for you? So, that's one thing I want you to think about. What are you willing to compromise on? Are you willing to compromise on salary so you can have a better work life balance? Are you willing to perhaps relocate because transportation's a lot better and you're like, you know what, I'm ready to give up my car? What is it that you're ready to compromise on, and how will this affect you in the long term? Right? What will this be like for you? And if you're relocating with family, what will this be like for your family? Is this a conversation that everyone has to have with each other in the household to make sure that this move is the right thing for everyone? Now, if you're moving abroad solo, there are some things to consider as well. How close will you be to home if something comes up, if you have to come back for a family emergency? Are you willing to go as far as Asia if you have an ailing parent, or if you have children who are in college, or maybe you have relatives that might need your support? So what are you willing to compromise on to go to this new environment that has something amazing to offer you, but there are some things that you might be missing out on as well? So in the process of thinking about these things, in the next part of our podcast, I'd like to talk to you about opportunities that are available. And there's so many out there that many of us don't even know about. I've done some digging and I'm really excited to share these with you. So hang tight, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, looking at the resources I shared last episode, I have some new ones that will help you if you're interested in working at international schools. Now, remember, full disclosure, if you would like to work at an international school, you must be prepared to have the requirements that they want of you, and 90% of the time, this will be a certification to teach. Now, if you live in the US, every state has their own requirements, whether it's taking the Praxis 1 and 2, whether it's taking other state exams and completing a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. Every state has a requirement, and it's important for you to know what these requirements are if you're not already certified. And if you are certified, it's important to make sure that you've kept up with your certification and you've renewed as appropriate. Now, looking at resources, one of the main ones I have here is the University of Michigan, sorry, the University of Michigan International Center. Now, at the University of Michigan, they have a program, or shall I say, an entire department that is built around making sure they have opportunities for students to come here to the US and making sure they have opportunities to send students abroad. Now, if you're not already certified, I say take a look at this program, see what they have to offer, see the types of programs available that will help you take that first step to get abroad. Now, there's also programs such as International School Services. You can also get opportunities through the U.S. Department of Teaching in international schools. Starting with the U.S. State Department is a great place because they have programs not only through Fulbright, but they have programs that also support teachers who are certified. They have opportunities that support school leadership. So if you're a principal, vice principal, or you're a part of other aspects of school leadership, they have opportunities for you. And I think this is great because it's not just about perhaps those who are interested in teaching abroad, but some might want to get some information, go abroad, spend some time, maybe a summer or even a school year, and bring some valuable knowledge back with them. So if you're interested in this, please check out the US State Department for teaching in international schools. There's also the International Educator School Organization, right? TIE. There's also ISS, EDU. There are some job fairs that are going to be happening, and they're coming up quick, fast, and in a hurry. So if you're interested in checking out some of these opportunities, I highly recommend you check out the show notes. I'll be leaving some links, including one about a job fair coming up in February in Washington, D.C. If you are interested, please don't hesitate to look at the resources available around you, not only on your own state website, but the US government website, to see what's out there. The information will not fall in your lap. You have to look for it, you have to seek it out. I've done a lot of this research for you, so please check out the show notes to see what's available there. It can be very, very helpful to you, not just if you're interested in teaching, but if you're interested in administration, or if you're just looking to learn more about education systems abroad. Please don't hesitate to look into the links that I have available, because they will be helpful to you. Now, this episode was a short one. Why? Because I have a lot of exciting stuff coming up, including our first guest that we'll be having next episode. We'll be hearing from a blogger and teacher that I've connected with, and I'm so excited to introduce you guys to her. She has so much to offer and so much information to share, and I'll be interviewing her, and we'll be featuring it on the next episode. So please stay tuned. There's so many great things that are coming up for our podcast, and I can't wait to share them with you. As always, you can find me at always_travel_light on Instagram. You can also always find me on the blog, KJ Around the World. You can also find me and everyone else we're trying to build a collective with in the Facebook group at Loves Teaching Will Travel. And just be mindful that this collective group of information and people and resources that are available are just there to help you grow and help you reach your ultimate goal that you want to reach, whether it's to move abroad permanently, teach abroad temporarily, go on an education tour to learn some real valuable gems and great information. This is all here to help you. And if you have any questions for me, I am always available by email, by direct message, on social media, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.